I'm not a fan of always ripping off catchphrases, but let's go! This shout out to Put Up the Tape. He's a Lakers fan, but sadly his team got shut out. But the team that has not gotten shut out, and just a game away from the biggest choke job in postseason history, nearly losing to 3-0 after the Celtics came back from a 3-0 lead, pushing this to a Game 7. The Miami Heat won in dominating and efficient fashion against the Boston Celtics on the road to win the Larry Bird Award and make it over to win their Eastern Conference Finals since the bubble. And this time playing off against another top-seeded dominant offense out of the Denver Nuggets. The Miami Heat, yet again, not pictured to even have a deep playoff run over an underwhelming regular season. Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, Max Strus. And we didn't do this with a person that... We haven't even done that with our second highest efficient scorer this entire playoffs. Tyler Hero's been out since Game 1 against the Milwaukee Bucks with a broken wrist. And apparently, Caleb Martin just did not care. He was shooting the lights out of the ball in Game 7. Inefficiency, poor defense over whenever it was just good kick-out ball movement. Every time it was just max 3 over max 3. They were leading around 7 until it was like 21. They were up by 21 around the second half. The Miami Heat were just that good. Vincent just over the mid-corner, at least over from the corner 3. Butler came with an amazing 28 points. Sure, weak efficiency. 12 of 28. He was only 3 of 7 from behind the arc. Caleb Martin was 4 of 6 from behind the arc. Impressive. Very impressive. 42 points. 12 points. Not going to forget that, Bam. You really need to get your shit together when it comes to that. I know you're there for your rebounding, your efficiency, but you're an undersized guy at the 5. Like, your effectiveness to at least score around like 15 points would not bother me. Strus only had 8 points. Gabe Vincent only had 10. Duncan Robinson had some clean shots over from the outside after a handoff over to the corner. He had a good shot. But I think the major thing was the turnovers that the Miami Heat had over the Boston Celtics, guys. Like, the Celtics just barely could hold over possession around the perimeter whenever moving out the ball. 8 turnovers coming from Jaylen Brown. Tipped over. I saw one fast break over finish. Jimmy Butler got a good finish around the rim. Pause. Over the fast break. Then a good steal by Caleb Martin that he came for a two-handed jam. Max Strus got a tip-over steal. Just a plethora of no ball control. And Tatum obviously suffering what looked to be an ankle injury. The inefficiency coming over from Derek White. Even though he came over with the second highest scoring coming out of the rotation, Tatum came again underperforming when the team needed him the most with 14 points, but that's off injury. So I'm not going to try to rag on him too much. But going 1 of 9 for Jaylen Brown, and he was expected to get over a max deal when you guys were playing good over the past 3 games over in the series. Even though if it wasn't for that clock rewind over the tip-off, this could have ended in 6 games, and we wouldn't have heard about a 3-0 comeback. Marcus Smart, 9 points, 35 minutes, awesome. Grant Williams, that I don't think had an efficient game to play since Game 2, when he scored like the most double-digit points in the fourth quarter. And Malcolm Brogdon, 0 points. He wasn't getting anything done. My guy couldn't shoot good key 3-point shots, and he's only been 0 for 2 from behind the arc. Just look at the shooting splits, guys. Like 2 of 9, 2 of 5 from Horford. And these are efficient, good 3-point shooters out of Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, and sometimes Grant Williams can get a bit hot. But the most efficient player was Robert Williams, I was still trying to keep him over in the game when it comes to blocking. Guys, if you see them not getting over in the pick and roll and Butler just taking care of attacking over in the rim, because we know that's his bread and butter over ISO plays and getting those second chance points, and Bam coming off an aggressive jam over in the fourth quarter is like, man, the game's over. Let me just wear my Jimmy Butler jersey I still have in my closet. Shout out to the Miami Heat. Boston Celtics, shout out to you guys. 3-0 deficit, being the top seed over the Miami Heat and not losing confidence against yourselves and still trying to go down the wire and nearly closing this out at home. I would say there's nothing to be ashamed of, but I was expecting this to go to overtime. But Tatum's injury really costed them, and I guess their morale at this point. And I think it was just weak inefficiency coming over offensively when it mattered the most. I'm sure a lot more fans wanted to see. It would have been more excited to see if Tatum could finally get a ring with Jalen, knowing their financial mishaps that is going to happen around the offseason, knowing if Jaylen Brown is still going to get over that contract, if Tatum is still going to be an efficient team. Al Horford's getting up there in age, so is Marcus Smart. This is a great in-depth team that was a possible contender, but Miami. There's something to be said about coming on another team's home turf, playing like this was home court advantage for them, and now they're on the road to play off against the Denver Nuggets in another NBA championship appearance since they faced off against the Los Angeles Lakers, where they lost in 5 games, sadly. And this is not their first time beating a first seed since they beat the Milwaukee Bucks in a 6-game series. Closing out, beating their East Coast rivals out of the Miami Heat. And then after starting off with a 3-0 series lead deficit and ending this in 7 against the Boston Celtics, the Heat have been the most underappreciated team. But I think I can say the same thing about the Denver Nuggets. Playstyle-wise, how they are. Butler has been one of the highest scorers in the postseason, after not ranked the best offense in the regular season. Becoming over their grit, their depth, great discipline and ball movement. Eric Spoelstra, you got to be very proud of your team, win or lose, coming out of this finals, being the first seed, being an 8th seed, and making it to the finals since the 1999 New York Knicks, where they play off against the San Antonio Spurs. And lost because it was Tim Duncan and David Robinson. And it really wouldn't surprise me if this was a shorter series. But, bro, I am so proud of the Miami Heat, bro. I am so proud to know that even how much discouragement we had losing Hero, and knowing that we weren't the perennial favorites and not even to stay over in the play-in, we've proved everybody wrong, and I'm so proud. So I want to see if we can get this done. I would say for the Celtics to hold themselves high, because they've made it to a majority of Eastern Conference Finals. But I don't know how much they can keep this going, knowing Jalen's obviously winning a payday, and most of the guys they need to get rid of. And I don't know how. And Joe Mazzulla needs to get more seasoned over as a head coach because of their in-depth rotation issues, so he can get more used to the system. Because we know Mazzulla was just a replacement for Ndoka in just the last couple of moments of the season. So obviously there's a chemistry like the Celtics need to learn from this. So shout out to the Celtics. Even though things didn't go their way, they came back from a deficit where people would have expected them to get blown out. Just like the Denver Nuggets had against the Los Angeles Lakers. But the Nuggets were actually a more superior team. So, right now, I'm going to celebrate for a tiny bit before I get ready for the finals. Other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of your night. I hope you guys had a great Memorial Day just like I did. And like, comment, subscribe for more. Share this up with anybody you know to keep the word out that the DST show is live. Thanks for watching the DST show. And have a great day.